How's it going, my G's? It's Art1fact and it's another day in your life. Isn't that exciting? Today, we're going to make a new bass sound and it's a free preset I'm giving away to you guys. Aren't you very, very lucky? If you're new to the channel, make sure you've got your coffee. Make sure you hit the starfish, vegetable and cabbage buttons down below. And yeah, just take a moment to say thank you to our sponsor today, the Shadowmaster, who has again designed this Neuro preset for us.
Call this one the stab of death. The stab of death.
Yeah, really sorry about that, guys. He actually threatened me earlier that if I didn't put him on today's video, he would have an absolute temper tantrum. So I had to let him have his little say. Anyway, I hope you guys are ready to do a little bit of learning with Vital today. And just before we jump into that, if you want to check out the links down below to my Discord community, you can also get my newest Myanmar stems in my remix folder down there on the Fire Team tier. And also, I have links down there to my website where I have information about my one-on-one lessons. We have the Vital presets and all that good stuff. So let's have a little listen to our Stab of Death loop today, and you can go ahead and download the preset down below. Start off your week creatively. Hopefully one of you guys can find a use for it in your track. So as you can see, I've created a sort of macro here with the tone with a lot of modulations on it. And this is just to, you know, give a different kind of version of the bass so you can sort of play between them, almost like a bass and a lead in one. Anyway, I just thought I wanted to make a bass trying to only use sine waves and square waves. Sorry, sine waves and saw waves. And I wanted to like do one sine wave FMing into another sine wave to give it like the growl. And then I wanted to like then put that growl into like a saw wave to give it the kind of greasy flavor and sort of get a bit of a balance between those two kind of basses. So it's very sort of very low end heavy with sine waves, but also has that kind of greasy harmonic element to it. If that makes any sense at all. Yeah, so I kind of just experimented with that, with the pitches, and then a lot of the rest of the patch comes from literally the effects do quite a lot. So why don't we just turn them all off and then we'll add them one by one and see how it kind of progresses. So yeah, essentially that's what it sort of sounds like on its own. We just start with a simple sine wave, add in our second one, and this is FMing from the first one to get that growly kind of sine wave character from the FM of both of them together. You know what I mean? Then added in my saw wave, very low in pitch as well, and FM'd this from the kind of result that we had here. So I've got that low end kind of sininess, and then I've got those sort of greasy saw harmonics as well together. And I've left the level up from both of these two, and this third one here, this kind of saw greasy part of the sound is the level is kind of down, but it comes up on my LFO here, which is like doing the movement of the whole patch pretty much. So just before we go on to the effects, if we just quickly look at the filter then, I've got this kind of vocal filter here. Just using it like a little bit, like with the mix sort of halfway and LFOing that. And then we have an extra filter here, which is going to come on in our macro later on. So that filter just becomes activated on the mix with our macro to change the tone for this sort of variation in the sound. And yeah, that's pretty much the sort of modulation and voicing covered here. Pretty simple. And so let's go on to the effects then. So we sort of start off with a filter, and this actually made quite a huge difference. So if I turn it off, it really just shapes the mid-range and makes it more of a like mid-range focused mid-bass, you know, because you can see here this kind of main bump that we've got, and that's at sort of 350, which is like kind of directly in that like low mid-range kind of area, and that's like what's being emphasized. So we can make sure to have like a driving mid-range for the sound. So it kind of just changes the shape pretty nicely. Then the compressor, it really like adds a lot of high end and almost a bit too much and a bit like over the top. But this is going to sort of change when we add in the other effects after it now. So with the chorusing as well, becomes very, very nice and spread out and stereoed. And then with the distortion, just soft clipping quite a lot, sort of 11 or 12. Now we've reached that sort of full velocity loudness in the sound pretty much. And you know that the way the compressor was making it sound a bit naff, a bit not so great, it suddenly sort of fits a bit better. But what I might do is mix this compressor down a little bit still. So let's just try and have a bit less of this character. Yeah, I think that's a little bit cleaner. I'm going to upload this version for you guys, number 2. All right, so distortion and then a tiny bit of reverb. And this is going to sort of go on our macro as well later on. Just taking out the low end, leaving the rest of the settings the same. And then EQ, I've just used the analyzer on here. I've noticed here that there's been a sort of band of bandit frequencies around here at this sort of 3000 that was just a bit too much higher than everything else and just sort of poking up like some unwanted intruder. So I've just taken that down sort of -5 here. Just sort of flatten out the curve, you know? Then I've got a little bit of flanging, which is basically just adding a little bit of kind of variation on the tone setting here. Turn up the mix of the flanger a little bit. And that's pretty much it. And yeah, just a little video today on this Monday to say hi to you guys, give you a little bit of a free preset. We're going to have a free preset pack at 2,000 subscribers in case you can't read what it says down there. Yeah, aside from that, I wish you a lovely, lovely start to your week. And I will do my best to upload some more sound design videos courtesy of the Shadowmaster or other imaginary friends this week. Ciao for now.